Hey, welcome back to Left 4 Dead Garage. I'm going to jump on the 54 truck over here, or jump back on it rather. Got all new POL, pedal assembly, brake booster master cylinder combo deal. So, got this stuff here. It includes firewall mount booster, firewall bracket, that guy right there. Master cylinder, pedal clevis, this stuff, brake switch, and a combination valve for disc drum setup. So this is similar to the same kit I put in the Silver 54, but the 54 cab is its own beast. It's a 1 year only deal. Or 54 to 55.1, so I guess maybe a year and a half. Obviously the dash is different, one-piece windows, things like that, but the dash is different enough to where on the Silver 49 this assembly bolted to the firewall and then came back and tied in right here. You know what, maybe I should turn a light on. This assembly came back and bolted right there. I don't know why this one wouldn't. I imagine you could probably make it do that. If it's not a big deal, I may actually look into that, because it seemed like it really tied the dash and the firewall all together nicely. Now, obviously we're looking at the back side of the firewall, and you see these like bead rolled type dimpled panels, which add strength to the firewall, and then you got a seam up here. So all of this, and then you got your hood hinge bolt holes over here. So all of this, if this truck didn't have a slick firewall, and you can see it's been capped, those things would have been where you get your location. So you can kind of see a seam would have been here, and then you'll measure off of here. So the seam is roughly in this region. I can see it. I don't know if you can on the camera, but you're 6 inches down, 8 3/8 across from the center line of this bolt. So you'll land somewhere in this region right here. So it's a little funky with this one, because you got to go from the inside. So 8 3/8 from here, 6 inches from seam down. So sort of right in that area. So we'll be in this rough vicinity right here. So we're going to drill through 2 panels. Keep that in mind. So the hole saw could be snatchy grabby. Once you get the 2-inch hole saw done, that will center. See, I kind of cheated, and it's easier with the 47 to 53 trucks, because you can mount this to the dash and make sure your location's okay. It's just it's a weird deal the way it's done. But it'll hang like that. And then your pedal can be offset to this side right here. This is your pedal adapter. Your pedal has got 2 machine spots in it to where you can flip it around left or right. Put it in the center, what would be the center hole, put it in the left hole. I think I'm gonna put it in this hole here. I just got the set screw, or the stud, or whatever you want to call it, threaded in there, and it comes with a lock nut. But that'll offset it. Even if it wasn't enough, this is simple. Well, if you got a lathe and a mill, or access to a lathe and a mill, I could always remake this and make it a 1/2 inch longer, or 1 inch longer to the left, or to the right, the other right, I mean, and do it that way. So, and another thing, this seam in here, so this is the inside seam, this is the outside of the firewall. So the outside seam is down here. So technically, this region should be right about where that hot spot is in that firewall. So I don't think it'd be too big a deal, but yeah. So I need to drop down and just center this. Now, this thing has got, you see the corners, see those notches. So this notch here, the way it's kind of 45'd or whatever, is made to saddle that deal. So if you would go from the outside, these are, you know, bumped out, it would sit on that, and that would actually line you up to know where to drill these holes. This 2-inch hole centers this, and then that thing rides on those rails there, and that's how you center it. Same way with this thing is notched to clear this on the outside. I really need to get a junk cab for reference. If I won't keep doing these trucks, I need to get a junk cab for reference. Put it on a dolly or something. That way I can roll it around for measurements and demonstration, I guess. So I guess I just have to trust the process on this. Not on camera, but I did yesterday. I cut out the actual where the seat tracks went. It's like well, it's laying right there in the floor. Cut that out. Seat tracks mount on those holes left and right, the 2 holes, and then it had like a little tab spot welded here. So I cut that out. This one wasn't fully welded in yet. Only bad thing is it's rusted, and it was hard to clean up. Then there was a repair and some mess here, and then there was 3 repairs going on. Like this is an earlier repair, this is a newer repair, and then as you can see, they used orange RTV. That's an older repair. So this one actually ran up to the kick panel. I got to looking, this was kind of mangly, and then that was like doing nothing. So I carefully cut it out. I trimmed the old toe board up straight. I could always go back and tack weld this, but it really doesn't matter. Tried to get in there and clean this up, and there was another piece up here that was just hanging. I cut it out, and then I squared this up, and I happened to have an old piece, a leftover piece of new floor from the pink truck, because I used this section, and I cut the recess out and put it in my new panel. That side looks like that, but if I had another one of these, I would do it the same and make that match. Honestly, my OCD probably is not going to let me leave it this way, and I'll probably figure out a way to make this with like a dimple die. I got a dimple die I can modify, try to make it, I don't know, I'm rambling here. But tacked it through here. Like I said, it was rusty and it's messy, and it didn't really want to do well, but it's down. Kind of like you see how it's not all the way down. It's just, this is just over the old floor, not the way I would ever do it, but it's a way to do it. So you now have 2 floors basically. So, and that's the same way with this. They've just skinned the toe board and the firewall with sheet metal basically. So, and then I'll go back and I'll just seam seal all around this. It'll kind of blend it in and hide it. So I want to measure over 8 3/8 from the left to the right, and I'm going to center this rib here. We're going to drill it. So I'm going to do some measuring, cross the fingers, check the measurement again, maybe a 3rd time, and we'll drill a hole in this. All right, so we're going to say right here is our 6-inch mark. From the center line of these bolt holes, it's right about there, 8 3/8. Right in the center of this will be our 2-inch hole. Then we'll use this as our cheat. Line up the hole and then mark our 4 mounting holes. Because, you know, originally it would have came from the outside onto the front, onto the face, notched for this and notched for this one. So I'm gonna center drill this, pre-drill it, and then we'll run the hole saw through it. All right, I took a center punch, hit it several times, got me a good dent going. I'm gonna take this center drill and go ahead and go through the original firewall and put me a good spot into the new firewall. Got a 250 drill here. Going to run through. And I'm going to ditch the drill. I've got a 2-inch hole saw with a 1/4 inch piece of rod in it. That'll hold me straight. If this thing gets acting crazy, then it won't break my drill. All right, I'm gonna slow this thing down, get my rod centered. It's smoking out of that hole up there. I may have to go get a new saw. This thing is done for. I've done tore up 2 of these because I'm pushing on it so hard. I had to make another one because I bent it. So if this would have been a drill, you'd have been without a drill. So, dang it. I mean, the teeth on that are just flat. Let me see if I got another one, or I may have to go get one.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Product, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
All right, I just finally gave in and went and got a new one. So this makes little to no sense. So this hole saw here is the whole complete unit with adapter, and it even comes with the drill already loaded in it. It was 20. This thing by itself was 17. They have an entire kit for 54. Maybe I should have just bought that. It says made in the USA, multi-material. So hopefully we can, I'm gonna go ahead and take this out so I don't break it. Hopefully we can get through this firewall now. Good Lord. Well, I tell you, if you want to feel like a criminal, you ought to go to that Ace Hardware here in town. As soon as you walk in, they're on the old CIA, FBI earpiece. One coming through paint, says he doesn't need help. And that's exactly what she said while I was checking out. I mean, I understand it, but man, I didn't know that place had some automotive paint in it for years, because every time I'd go in there, I'd feel like I was being stalked. So I never would wander around, and I happened to just go down the wrong aisle one day and found that, but I've never just looked around in there because you really can't. All right, round 2 or 3 or whatever. Oh, good Lord. It's kind of got a little egg thing going on here. This is where one aggressive hole saw, almost too aggressive. All right, I gotta clean all this up. Kind of bent it right here, but I think since we're bolting it together, it's gonna squeeze it anyway. So yeah, it kind of goobered it up right there, bent it a little bit, but not a big deal. I'm gonna get something and deburr this, and then we'll take this thing. I was sidetracked while I was at the hardware store. I was gonna try to find something, a piece of like schedule 80, something thick that I could turn down 2 inches and leave a flange on it. That way I could stick it through the firewall and it would hold, fit this diameter, and then have a 2-inch OD like that. You see what I'm saying? Like I could, and it would hold this where it needs to be. But if you do it without the firewall skin, you don't need none of that. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just overthink it. Let me grab something and clean this up. All right, I got a slight problem here. So I'm gonna level off the floor of the truck. It's just sitting here 1 degree. And what I've done is I've just drilled 1 hole. I'm not trying to touch the truck at all. So it's real close, within a degree maybe. Not even a degree, a tenth. However, that's not my issue. My issue is this. Look at the firewall. Since it's 2 panels, it's kind of floating in there. And just with a light adjustable wrench, just to hold that plate straight so I can drill my holes, it's pulled this firewall in. So it's gonna collapse it. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna get my holes knocked through right here, like it's supposed to be. And then I'm going to go to the machine shop and see. I'm going to have to turn something down, like a through sleeve, and put through there and weld it from the inside and then weld it from the outside. That way when I tighten this down, it's tightening down on that sleeve and not trying to squeeze the 2 panels together. So that's all I can do. These 2 may not be so bad because this jumps out. So this outside panel may be pushed up against it as it is. So it may not need it. So either way, I just have to make 4. Let's see what I'm going to make 4 and just go from there. So that's what I'm going to have to do for that. But for now, got to drill these holes, get this thing mounted, mock it all up loosely, and then I'll go make it some sleeves. All right, so here's the plan. It's mounted on there. It is just snug because, like I said, it's going to crush the 2 pieces together. I also cannot put this in there in any way, shape, or form because no matter which way I put it, it's going to gap the booster off the firewall that much because it's not sitting against those ribs, and this would have been flush. I hope that makes sense. Because the ribs go into those, it'd be like a receiver groove or notch or clearance hole. So pedal assembly's in there. It's just loose. It's not like super snug or anything just yet. So my plan here is I found this is 1/2-inch OD tube with like about a 400 ID. This would be 1/2-inch tube with a 375 ID. It leaves you with about a 1/16 wall, like a 062. So, and these are pieces of like circle track car, like fender struts. These things adjust. So I'm gonna cut the nuts off of these, or just maybe I can just use one of them. Is cut it down and get me some spacers, whatever length I need, clean this up, and then weld these in the firewall. So that's my plan. And then we'll figure it out. That way when I tighten it up, it squeezes against the tubing and not the 2 panels pinching together. So that's my plan. Let me get to it. All right, I'm making these little bushing sleeve things. I got one cut. Figured I'd show you how I did it. I don't know. Might be a better way, I'm sure there is. So I got this magnet holding this one in. You can see it just through there. So it's pretty well flush with this side. And then you can see that top one. So this magnet is actually holding this backside flush. So I know where to cut this one. And I have this super scientific way of measurement here. So what I do is I'll take a Sharpie and I'll just push up against the magnet inside and get it stuck and spin it, and I'll take it to the bandsaw and I'll cut it on this side of that black line. That way it gives me some room or some material on the inside to grind down flush. So I'll do that on both of them. This one I want flush here, so these will be longer, you know, because you can see the two panels in there touch, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it that way. That way the pedal assembly can have something to bank off of, and it would still be trying to squeeze that material together right there. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, I got these things welded in here. It'd be nice if I had one for the 2-inch that would really make it solid. I mean, it ain't going nowhere now, but I got a little bit of blending left to do. Some of these spots, there's a little low spot right here, but you'll never see it with the booster on there. But yeah, I got a little blending, a little cleanup. None of that really matters. I mean, you'll never see it, but I know it's there. I just got these kind of tacked in. Top and bottom. They're not going anywhere. These are fully welded because it needed to be flat. And then I ran a straight edge across this and kept grinding until it didn't catch. That one I might have a little more to do on top of it. Yeah, our studs will come through, the plate will bump up against that, and now the firewall is nice and solid. Now the firewall is nice and solid, and it won't pinch together when I tighten it up. So I'm gonna put this assembly in here. Thankfully, this truck doesn't have doors. That way I can reach around. I can access both sides of this firewall at the same time without having to have any help. So I'm gonna stick you right here. I don't know how exciting it'll be, but we'll take a look. This is a dust boot. I'm not going to stick that on there just yet because this is all coming back apart anyway. So hang the bracket, grab some hardware, drop it all. Let's see, let's throw the pedal in there and see where we land. Of course. Okay, that's not bad at all. Gas pedal be in this region right here. Pedals over there. Got a lot of swing. So, still have these two holes down here to knock into it. God darn it, I forgot about those. So that means I get to make 2 more sleeves and put those in. way down there. Well, you'll have that. So I'm gonna make 2 more of those and take this back apart, make 2 more of those, weld those up, and I believe we can mock up the combination valve, proportionate valve, whatever you want to call it, and make sure we got line clearance at the inner fender well. So let me make 2 more sleeves and get back to you. I already got these bottom 2 sleeves made. With that light coming through the firewall, you can see the sleeves in there. I also see my low spot here, there. I was afraid I'd hit the column getting over there near it, but these 2 I'll get some like stainless button head Allens. That way it doesn't just look like a regular old bolt coming through there. So you got 6 sleeves there. As long as I got one on there, it ain't gonna fall off. Let's see, I had some hardware. I can use these 2. We'll just stick a couple bolts and nuts and bolts in it just to bolt it all up for a full test fit. I believe I got to get another socket. See, that's a nice solid clamp. Now, hopefully that firewall's good and solid. So that puts the pedal just to the left of the deal. I mean, there could be modifications made. If you had to, you could cut the arm loose up here on this tubing, slide it that way. But yeah, that worked out pretty good. It took a little while to install it though, but I mean, overall, it's all right. So still got room around the column here to put our seal in. If not, we can always trim this little corner off, no big deal. Adjust the pedal. However, I'm sure the brake will be out here somewhere, so I have to come down some like that. Either way, that worked out pretty good. I will put, oh yeah, we was going to see about clearance on the, let's just mock the whole thing up. Hope this video ain't 6 months too long. All right, let's eyeball this, see what we can do. Snug that up gently. Let's see. Trying to hurry, my camera's trying to die. Maybe. Need to loosen this up. There we go. Everybody threads all in now. I'll probably just leave this stuff all bolted up, put it back in the box. Yep, that's your POL, not POS, POL disc drum combination valve. I believe it's 1.25" master cylinder, real similar to like 72 vet Chevy. That's my go-to on stuff now, what's always been. We can figure out which way to plumb this, and this will be your rear, this is your front. So get to do a little plumbing eventually. So that worked out pretty good. I didn't think it'd be that much work, but I didn't really think about the double firewall. And I can't remember how we did that 49. I don't think I can't remember. Anyway, who cares? Yep, so still making forward progress on this thing. Lots to do, lots left to do. I believe this is the last of the cab. Any drilling and such I need to do in the cab. I do need to do some welding underneath. Not sure if I'm going to do this stuff here. I just cleaned them off the other day because I wouldn't, and I did weld this. I'm not sure if I'm going to do these, finish the cab corners and this part of the cab on both sides, or if the body guy's going to do it. So, but the next thing, what's the next thing? Oh, I still need to go over the radiator. I got the new radiator, so I'm going to have to cut and weld the lower outlet on it like I did this Amazon one, and cover hoses. And I believe in that one maybe we'll do some plumbing. We'll plumb the transmission cooler lines, power steering line, and possibly maybe we can fire the motor and hear it run, because I think everybody wants to hear that. So that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching Left 4 Dead Garage. We'll see you on the next one.